Hi, this is Christy Lorette, marketing copy and content expert and creator of the Action Marketing Copy System at actionmarketingcopy.com. So today we're going to be talking about newsletters, the e-news or electronic version versus the hard copy version. If you're trying to weigh the differences between the two or the pros and cons between the two and deciding, which way to go for your business, listen on because we're going to go through three of the primary differences between the two, and then you can use this information to actually decide which version is the best for your business. Now, as far as the content is concerned, they're really the same. There's no major differences in what you would include in an e-newsletter versus a hard copy newsletter. So if you'd like to check out the article that I wrote and posted on my blog, Anatomy of an E-Newsletter, you can find that article at actionmarketingcopy.com/blog and just search for Anatomy of an E-Newsletter and the article will come up. Now, the three primary differences between the electronic version of a newsletter and the hard copy version are length, costs, and delivery. So let's start off with length. The length of an e-newsletter tends to be only about one page, so it's pretty short, simple, and to the point. You don't want to have your subscribers having to scroll down and down and down and down and down to read your e-newsletter, so that is one of the reasons why it's kept relatively short. Now, when it comes to a hard copy version of a newsletter, it too can be short. It can be one page, but it's also acceptable and viable that it be more than one page. So you may have a 4-page newsletter, including front and back, or an even longer newsletter if you so choose. If you happen to provide a lot of content in your e-newsletters, or maybe you only produce the in your newsletter, or you only produce the newsletter once a quarter, so you have more information to share in each issue, then a hard copy version may be the way to go. The second primary difference are the costs involved in producing each issue. An e-newsletter can really be produced for no cost, except for maybe your time, or very low cost, depending on how you actually go about producing and sending it out. Now, when it comes to hard copy versions of newsletters, there are a lot of costs involved. And the first cost is probably hiring a graphic designer to design and lay out the newsletter. Second is the cost for printing the newsletters. And finally is the cost of delivery, which is typically postage. And then finally, the other primary difference is the delivery of the newsletter. Now, when someone gets an e-newsletter, it has a different effect than a hard copy newsletter. So a hard copy newsletter is something tangible that they can see, they can feel, and they can read, which also means that it has a shelf life that they can either pass it on to others or keep it for future reference. Now, there are some instances where this happens with an e-newsletter as well, but the tangibility factor really provides a bigger bang for your buck in a lot of instances. This is Christy Lorette, marketing copy and content expert and creator of the Action Marketing Copy System at actionmarketingcopy.com.